When you take the first photo, your immediate instinct is to blame the glass. In our last lesson, we even talked about how wide-angle lenses can warp a scene, so it's easy to assume the lens is the enemy here. Now look at this photo. Same friendly face, same 16mm lens, same camera. But in the first photo, his nose is massive and his ears have shrunk in size. He looks like a cartoon caricature. In the second photo, his proportions are perfectly normal. But the lens is innocent. The real culprit is geometry. The distortion is caused entirely by where you decided to stand. I'm Dale Sinclair, and today we're fixing distorted portraits and flat landscapes by separating the act of zooming from the physical reality of perspective. Let's get straight to the physics that actually matter in the field. Perspective. The way objects in a three-dimensional world relate to each other in size and depth is controlled by one thing and one thing only: where you put your physical body in space. Changing your focal length, zooming in or out, does absolutely nothing to perspective. Zooming is just an optical crop. Let me prove it to you with our four-legged friend. Let's say you are standing exactly 1 foot away from the dog's face with a wide lens. The tip of their snout is 12 inches from your camera sensor. Their ears are about 6 inches further back. That means from the camera's perspective, their ears are 50% further away than their nose. Because of that massive percentage difference in relative distance, the nose looks enormous and the ears look tiny. This is what we call extension distortion. Extension distortion is what happens when objects close to the camera grow disproportionately compared to objects farther away. Now, physically walk backwards until you are 100 feet away from that same dog. The distance to their nose is 100 feet. The distance to their ears is 100 feet and 6 inches. From the camera's perspective, the distance difference between the nose and the ears is practically zero. Because the distance is nearly identical, the features flatten out. The snout and the ears appear perfectly proportional to each other. It does not matter what lens is on your camera. If you stand 100 feet away, the perspective is effectively flat. If you stand 1 foot away, the perspective is highly distorted. To truly lock this concept into your brain, watch what happens to the background. You are watching physical distance compress the background frame by frame, while the focal length simply acts as a magnifying glass to keep the subject the same size. This is the ultimate secret to photography. Move your feet to control the background. Twist the barrel to control the crop. This geometry doesn't just ruin your portraits, it flattens your landscapes. You've seen those incredible photos where a giant moon is rising right behind a city skyline, or a towering mountain range looks like it's about to crush a small cabin. We are taught that telephoto lenses compress space. Compression isn't an optical trick, it's a distance trick. If you stand a half kilometer away from a cabin, and there is a mountain 5 kilometers behind that cabin, the camera sees them as relatively close together because you are so incredibly far away from both. The problem is, if you shoot that scene with a wide-angle lens, the cabin will be a tiny speck, and that towering mountain will look far less impressive on the horizon. So, you put on a 400mm telephoto lens. It acts like a telescope, reaching into that tiny, flat, compressed perspective in the center of your wide frame, magnifying it and filling your sensor. The lens didn't squish the mountain and the cabin together. Your quarter-mile hike did. Because telephoto lenses require you to stand so far away, they introduce a completely new variable into your workflow: the atmosphere. When you shoot a subject from a mile away, you are shooting through a mile of air. Dust, humidity, pollution, heat. If you are shooting down a hot city street with a 200mm lens, the heat rising from the asphalt will literally warp and ripple the light before it hits your sensor. Your image will be soft. This is a core tenet of our professional code. We don't artificially paint in contrast over a badly hazed background just to fake a sharp image. If you choose to compress space by stepping far back, you are choosing to include the air. Atmosphere is not a flaw, it's a character in your photograph. Think about the last time you shot a portrait. Did you choose where to stand based on the light, or did you just walk towards them until they filled the frame? Let me know in the comments. If this physical geometry is starting to click, but you want a quick reference for which focal length pairs best with which physical distance out in the field, grab the North of Wendigo field cheat sheet linked below. It removes the guesswork. If you shoot on a phone, Apple and Google are already forcing you to use these physics. When you swipe over to portrait mode, the camera often automatically zooms in. Your phone isn't doing this to annoy you. The engineers know that the main 1x lens on your phone is a wide angle, and if you shove it in someone's face, you will give them extension distortion. By forcing the phone to switch to the 3x telephoto lens, the software is forcing you to physically walk backward to fit the person in the frame. They are forcing you to flatten the perspective. Back up, use the optical telephoto, and save your subjects. Your assignment today is to recreate the sequence I showed you earlier. You need a willing subject, a friend, a partner, or a dog that knows how to stay. Put a zoom lens on your camera. Step 1. Stand 3 feet away. Zoom all the way out to 24 millimeters. Frame them so their head and shoulders fill the center. Take the photo. Step 2. Take 5 large steps backward. Without moving your feet again, twist your zoom ring until you reach 50 millimeters, or until your subject's head and shoulders are the exact same size they were in the first shot. Take the photo. Step 3. Take another 5 large steps backward. Zoom your lens all the way in to 70 millimeters or beyond, framing them exactly the same size once more. Take the photo. Put those 3 photos side by side. Your subject will be the same size, but you will watch the background completely transform. You will see the geometry of your own movement. Zooming is an illusion. The only true way to alter the perspective of your photograph is to physically move your camera through space. But now that you know this, you might realize your zoom lens is actually making you lazy. It's keeping you glued to one spot. In the next lesson, we are going to rip the zoom ring off your camera entirely. We're stepping down to a single, fixed, prime lens, and I'll show you why intentionally restricting your options is the fastest way to find your photographic voice. I'm Dale Sinclair. Move your feet to find the story, and I'll see you on the path.